shaking my head and my negative Yankee feel after that Buffalo game where they don't. All I can tell you is
Dolphins number one, baby!
Things up, baby.
Dolphins
Things
number
up.
one!
I swear, if a certain quarterback is mentioned in the comments, I got my beers ready. I'm gonna crack it open.
Or is it the
We
Serbian
got
kid?
the Serbian kid!
This looks done. Oh my god, it looks fantastic.
I hate you so much. No, good beat, man. Not a beat, man. Woo! I'm the man. I said it, and it's reality. All right.
congratulations.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Real Talk Fins Talk. I'm your host, Steve Malloy, and always the one and only Rob Mosley, a.k.a. Dolphin Thirsty. Everyone, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, share with your friends, your families, and your neighbors. And remember, we may not all agree on everything Dolphins, but there's one thing we can agree on is we are all Dolphins.
Well
Rob,
said, as always, Steve.
how you
Well
doing,
said.
man? How you doing?
Hey, it's all going well here on Dolphin Thirsty Land. Always fun to be on my site, even if I've been a little slow in getting all my content up lately due to a few factors out there, but hopefully trying to get back up and running soon. Always great to be a Dolphin fans, like I say. And Violet, aka we know who, but I would let it be
Yes, we know
Violet
who.
tonight.
We know
I
who
know
that
it's
is.
all good. And
And then we
then
got Evan in the house. We got Alex Brown. Welcome to the show, Alex.
And
We got
Ender.
Ender. He's in the house. So, Rob, tell me what do you got going on at DolphinThirsty.com these days?
Just some draft talk. Like I said, been a little bit slow. I got to get back up and running between being
Right.
a little under the weather, as I was telling you off camera earlier today, and then
Mhm.
my son's being in town, and one son being down, one son being out of school. It's just been busy, so I got to get back to that. That's just a hobby, so I got to get back on the game plan and start rocking and rolling more there on Dolphin Thirsty. But it's always fun, man, to write about our boys, and I'll be writing some stuff about all the updates as we get them going forward. It's been a little slow, as you know, no real news breaking other than the
Right.
Durham Smite, which we're going to touch on a little bit,
Yep.
but not much coming out of Dolphin land.
Right. Yep. Exactly. Thank you. Who was it made that comment? Ender. Thank you. Thank you for that comment that you made. Yes, I was on Dolphin Daily this morning with Rob. I joined him. We had a good discussion on there and had some good topics going on. I appreciated that very much, Rob, for you having me on this morning.
Always a pleasure.
Yeah, it was a great show.
Yep. Daniel was in there and Ender. Thank you guys. You guys rock. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. So tonight, we're going to talk a little bit about some of the rumors. I know we re-signed Durham Smith and talk about Vic Fangio and the defense. And we might have a little Tua talk in there. We can't get away from Tua. You know that.
yes, we can. Well, how about we do 1, 2, or 3 Tuesday? I want a 2 or 3 Tuesday.
I can't. It's in my DNA. I can't help it.
Oh my goodness.
But
QB1, let's end it. That's it. QB1, Tua. That's our conversation on the night.
That's no doubt. I have no doubt about that. Also, I want to make an announcement. Next week, our next Real Talk Fins Talk show, we're going to have a special guest on. We're going to have one of the big dogs out there, Barry Cunningham. I don't know if any of our audience has seen Barry Cunningham. He has a pretty unique show. It's pretty interesting. If you haven't, go ahead and check that out. He's a Tua. He believes in Tua. He's not a Tuaneer, but he believes in Tua. His as a franchise quarterback here, in with the Miami Dolphins, and not only that, this is for you, Rob. He's a Boston Red Sox fan.
Speaking of which, I'm missing their game right now. I hear my
Oh
son
no, don't
making.
you go. Don't you go.
Yeah, I
man.
won't. Don't worry. I bought the MLB extra innings package again this year, just for my Boston Red Sox. But if he's a Dolphin fan and a Red Sox fan, he must be a pretty cool guy. I'm guilty of not watching as many shows as you do. I stick with my Fins Talk Sports Network and my own Dolphins
Absolutely.
Thirsty.
Absolutely.
And but you're good. You're my guy to always, like, I bring you the Barry Jackson content. You always bring me what they're saying on Dolphins YouTube. So we make a good team. So and that's good to hear. I look forward to having him, especially if he likes those two teams. How bad can he be?
Exactly. So and which reminds me, talking about the Fins Talk Sports Network, we do appreciate all of you out there. We couldn't do this without you all. We are growing. We are growing by the leaps and bounds. And a matter of fact, following this show, if you all want a warm and fuzzy after this show, after the dose of reality that we offer you here, you can get that warm and fuzzy with Finn's Bandwagon following the show with Evan Posner and Mr. Michael Vogel. They put on a great show. They have good content. Always, most of the time, always on the positive note. So if you want to catch them, make sure you do that. All right, let's go get right on into the show, Rob. Let's talk about the re-signing of Durham Smythe. I know you had some information on the contract, a little bit about the contract.
No, it's just, not but then it's an extension, just more further proof that he's the guy, that they must like him, because they just did his contract last year and they just extended. I'm not going to dig into the numbers. That gets boring. We can all go to the Sun Sentinel, the Miami Herald, any of those places to see the exact numbers. But I think it's a good contract. Is he a stud? Is he a kiddo that's knocking people over in WrestleMania? No, but he is, he's a good, solid player. And I think it's a good move, because now we're really solidified at the position where I still think it might be our top pick in the draft, but it leaves open the possibility. Okay, no team can look at us and say, oh, we have to hop over the Dolphins for this move, because we know they need a tight end desperately, because we picked up the Sovert. I know Sovert, whatever you want, Evan. I know I'm probably screwing up the name. He will correct me somehow.
He'll correct you. Yeah.
But it's like, but you know who I'm talking about, Eric. We can keep it simple.
There we
I
go.
can't screw up the name. But anyway, Evan, you can correct me. And yes, my Red Sox may finish last, but at least they've given me a lot of joy. 2004, 2007, 2013, and 2018. There, I just had to get that off my chest. If the Dolphins just give me one of those, I'd be happy with. I would be overjoyed. But anyway, back to the Dolphins.
There we go. Sauerbert.
Yeah,
Sauerbert.
there you go.
Yeah. Hey, Alex, Mr. Alex Brown, how you doing, brother? Yeah, I'm here in Houston, man. I'm here in Houston, Texas, so I got to go with my Astros, man. All the way, baby.
See a little baseball. See, Bobby, you got to eventually get a baseball show going. But anyway, so yeah, I think Bobby has said it, and I've said it, but Bobby's network here, and I've heard him a few times saying that we really set the draft up to where there's no glaring need. So no team is going to say, oh my God, they really, really, really need a running back. Let's hop up and from, like the past few years, teams would trade up right before the Dolphins and nab those running backs we wanted. But we got enough now where teams like, oh, they may want the tight end. Oh, they may need a tackle. But then they bring in a whole bunch of defensive players. If you read the latest Barry Jackson, I'm horrible at instant recall, but there's names in there. I know Overshone's one of the names they brought in, and there's other names I just read for you right before we came on the air. So, they're doing a lot of defensive guys. So is that a smoke screen, or are they really interested in these guys? So I think they got, the league would be guessing this year, because I think a couple of years we did get running backs nabbed right before the Dolphins picked, because it was like a glaring need for Miami, and teams said, oh, let's trade up and snatch running backs when we were just sitting there waiting instead of being ahead of the curve. So hopefully we've learned. I think we're set up well enough that we don't have one glaring need that a team said, oh, we got to hop over the Dolphins because they're going to take, now, obviously, if a Darnell Washington starts falling surprisingly on draft night, because you never know, or some miracle player like that falls, then you may have to move up and get him, because some team will jump you for like an obvious. But for this, in general, I think the Dolphins have a pretty solid off season. I think right tackle is still the biggest need on the team, but we will see. They seem to be happier with Austin Jackson and Eichenberg than the general fan base. But overall, I'm optimistic, Evan. I could be your co-host tonight if Mr. Vogel has to call out for any reason, because I'm going to be Mr. Positive. That's all we can do. You know, we got the whole season to complain if it goes south. This is the off season. You might as well be optimistic and say, hey, we got a good team moving forward. So that's how I'm playing tonight, Mr. Steve.
I got you. I can't argue with that. But as far as the tight end position goes, you know, at this point in time, I'm happy with who we have. We got two solid blockers, I think, and the way that we utilized the tight end last year, although Mike Gesicki was a third leading receiver, he did catch 32 balls. But if you can split that between the two tight ends,
and the rookie kid, but not the rookie this year, but Tanner.
Yeah, we have Tanner Connor. We have Tanner Connor as well. He's more
they love him. I don't know. The two times they threw to him, he dropped it, but I'm going to be positive. So he's got great potential.
Yeah, that's just one drop, right? I mean, you can't get on him too much for that. He came in one game, one drop, and they took him out. But you got a little feel for the game. Okay. But hey, Tanner Connor's more of a Gesicki type. Of course, he's not as tall as Gesicki is, but he's a lot faster. He was an ex-wide receiver. But we'll see. Maybe they'll utilize him more of the Gesicki type of tight end. Maybe our catching tight end. We'll see. But I'm happy with the tight ends. Now, if Darnell Washington drops to 51 in the draft, man, yeah, I'd be happy if Miami goes out and gets him.
I've seen mocks all over the board on him. I've seen him go as early as the first round, anywhere from the 20s, and I've seen him fall into the second round. But I more or less think he'd be gone by 51. So, but you know, I would love if he falls, or you know, but I've been seeing Mr. Bobby. Bobby Finstock, that's his nickname. Bobby Finstock. He really likes Gibbs, and I've been seeing Gibbs fall more and more in the running back slot to the Dolphins.
Right.
So you don't know. It's a crapshoot. These teams are trying to, these mocks are just simulators for that reason. You know, believe me, I've seen the Dolphins take who? Why are they moving up to take him or whatever? So, it's going to be a team that takes a who, and hopefully it's not our Dolphins a year, but that pushes another player down for our team, because every year something happens, a player falls, No, Evan, you cannot say negative comments here and then we comment on it and then you blame us for being Debbie Downers, or let's see, negative Neds to keep it non-sexist. Debbie Downer, or Joe Rose got in trouble once for saying Debbie Downer. We get people called and said, "Oh, you're only complaining that women are negative." So now he says negative Neds. So, I'm not going to be a negative Ned, Evan. So, Evan, let me comment one thing he said about the Expos. I do like two Expos that play. Pedro Martinez, and you wonder why, as a Red Sox fan, why I like Pedro Martinez. But Andre Dawson actually graduated from my high school a few years before I was there. But they actually, the name of the field is Andre Dawson Field to this day at Southwest High School here in Miami. So there's a couple of cool, Expo connections there. But overall, I'm with you, Steve. I'm positive about this year. I don't care. New England, they might be the bottom of the barrel, but they're still going to be tough if Belichick striving for, they're always tough. Obviously, Buffalo, they're still, we all say they've regressed a little bit, but I'm old school. They're still the champ of the division until someone takes the crown away from them. Yep. So right now, they're still the favorite. And then the Jets, if they get Aaron Rodgers, you could argue both ways who have a better roster, but I'm still proud of my Miami Dolphins roster. I think we can do well. And it's going to be hard to sweep any of the teams in the division this year. And I think that goes for any of the teams. It's going to be hard for Buffalo to sweep through the division, because in New England, and when they were running through everyone, Miami might come up with their once-a-year victory against New England, but they basically beat down on the Jets. They beat down on Buffalo, and they would split one with us, say. So, they own the division. I don't see a team doing that this year. Right. I think the Jets and the Bills will split. We will split. Him in New England. I don't think all the division's going to go in there and sweep New England. So it's a very tough division, but I'm still looking forward to this year. And I think moving forward, we're in good shape.
Yep. I do too, to a degree. I wanted to talk a little bit about the rumor of Delvin Cook. What's your take on Delvin Cook? I'll tell you what mine is. He's a good running back. He's a good all-around running back. He's not a Derrick Henry. That's who I want. With the present, and I know I'm going off the beaten path as we always do on this show, and that's okay.
That's what we're here for.
But with this O-line that we have, I'm not in favor of a Delvin Cook. A Derrick Henry, yes. Delvin Cook needs some blocking. Derrick Henry doesn't need that much blocking. He can power his way through the line. And not only that, but Delvin Cook, along with Derrick Henry, he did get hurt too, but Delvin Cook has been hurt for 2-3 years. He's gotten hurt. So I'm not really in favor of getting Delvin Cook. I'm just not. If that's the case, I'm just leave the running backs that we have, and we'll be
And
okay.
draft because there's a
And
good
draft
year.
one,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm agreed. This year, I'm not for. But of course, I'm a Dolphin fan. So if tomorrow we break and Barry Jackson has it, hey, the Dolphins have signed, and then I'd be, hey, he's our back, and I'm happy.
Yeah.
But for me, well, from what we don't know, because supposedly talks broke down, but I don't know if that's because Minnesota was asking too much, or the Dolphins didn't really want to pay Cook the big money, or he wanted a rework of the contract.
Right. I think his contract presently to this day is like $12 million a year.
Yeah, no, it's a lot. So they may have we wanted to rework, but who knows? But we will see moving forward.
Yeah.
To me, I think you can get a good running back, get him on the cheap, and then take him, and then you got him for like 4 years or whatever, and then you just move forward because running backs, I hate to minimize them. Hey, Kohler, commentary.
Kohler, how you doing, Kohler?
But to me, running back, you can do. Now, has Chris Greer always hit at running back? No. But we can, I believe we can hit at running back without giving up the big money for Cook and the draft capital that would be required to get Cook. I'm for the drafting a running back. I would rather spend our second-round pick, even though we might need a tight end or an offensive tackle. I'd rather spend that or a third-round pick on a running back in this year's draft than give up big capital and money, because the Dolphins are going to be facing. We're already scheduled to be way over the cap next year, and we want to give Wilkins his extension. We got to start paying a lot of people already. So we will see. So I'm with you. I'm not so much in the Cook camp yet.
Yeah. Hey, thank you, Kohler. Thank you, Kohler. Yes. Thanks for reminding me. Please, everyone, please like, share, subscribe. Of course, share with your friends, your families, your neighbors. We're trying to get to that 1,000 mark. And we just appreciate you out there. And we love you all commenting and everything. And I know I try to make it a point to try to get to all your comments, but sometimes I miss, and Rob will catch them. But let's go ahead and shift over to the defense. Vic Fangio's scheme. So we got Vic Fangio. He comes in and he's going to come in here, and do I believe he's going to make this defense better? I don't know. That's a big task for a coach. He's been out of defensive coordinator for a couple of years now, 2 or 3 years now. And I understand in the press conference he said that he's been watched a lot of film on all these different teams and all that kind of stuff. I got that. But if you look at the Vic Fangio scheme, a lot of these teams that are playing his scheme. Now, grant you, he's the creator of that scheme, and the ones that are coaching these teams isn't Vic Fangio or the personnel, right? The players. We were 24th last year. He's coming in here. He doesn't really know any of our players. Our players have not been playing in any kind of scheme even close or near a Vic scheme.
Well, you can say a lot of them, some of them, because you
there's about 12 or 15 teams.
Yeah, I know, but you do have Chubb. I think it's going to be a good signing. I know. Anyway, I don't want you to cut you off, so finish your thoughts, and then I'll give my thoughts.
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is, so he comes in here and he got what, 3 players. He got David Long, which I think is our best linebacker. He got Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey, I know a lot of folks said he wasn't playing up to par last year. That might be true, but he still had a good PFF score. He still played. He played pretty well. Okay, he played good. And then we got Deshaun Elliott. Okay, so those are 3 pieces that we've accumulated since Vic Fangio's
and Malik
come here.
Reed, who did, I know he's
right,
not a
Malik
big name,
Reed.
but
That's right. I forgot about him.
He
That's
had
right.
good numbers under Fangio.
Yes, he did. And we got Malik Reed. So 4 pieces. And then, of course, they're going out and they're looking at defensive tackles. Why do you think that is? I'll tell you why they think that is. Because the players that we have presently, because Vic Fangio does not blitz a lot. He doesn't scheme up to blitz. He has an organic pass rush. And we've got players on our team that are not organic pass rushers, period. I don't care what you say about Wilkins. He's not an organic pass rusher. I don't care what you say about. Hold on. Let me finish.
I know. But we're running quick here, so hurry. Let me get my time.
Let me finish. So let's not forget Sealer. I know Evan will correct me. He is not an organic pass rusher. Guess who else is an organic pass rusher? Jalen Phillips. Even though he had a decent year, he's not a top 5 edge rusher. He's not. He's not an organic pass rusher. He's a finesse kind of rusher, right? And the only time we got pressure on the quarterback last year is when we had 7 or 8 on the line. That's how we got a pass rush. Vic Fangio does not do that. He uses 4 on the line, okay? 4. And he uses a cover 4, cover 6, okay? So, and he plays a lot of zone. Xavier Howard is not a zone player. Either is Kader Kohu. So what I'm saying is, if we expect this team to be a top 5, is asking a lot. Now we have no evidence. We have no evidence that they can't be, but we have no evidence that they will. So what I'm saying is, he may need another year to say, you know what, these players that I have on this team, they're not a scheme fit for the defense that I play. He may need another year to find the guys that he actually needs to put in place to be a scheme fit for his particular defense. That's just my take.
All we can do is go on documented history, and he has a history of having top 10. Now, top 5, of course, that's asking for a lot, but he has a well-documented history of creating top 10 defenses. Was that because he had some good players over the year? I'm sure that goes for any coach. You know, if I had Dan Marino in his prime when I was offensive coordinator, I would look like a genius too. So we always know players help, but he does scheme. He does make it hard on quarterbacks for different
Evan,
teams.
I'm not negative. I'm being realistic. It's called being realistic. I'm not living in a delusion.
But there is no delusion. Every time, you can't say
every time a coach comes to Miami, we gotta beef him up. We gotta say, hey, rah rah rah. He's gonna be the next greatest slice of bread or whatever you want to call it.
Did you want him? Look what happens. Yes or no? Did you want him when it was mentioned he was one of the guys?
No, I'm not. I am not.
But yes or no, it's not the guy you wanted.
Yes.
You want fans.
Yes.
Okay, so we got him. It's not complaining about.
I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining. I'm being realistic.
Don't bring up questions. Because if you do by history, you know, we've talked about players' history. If they're normally good, they're going to be good. And if they're normally bad, they're going to be bad. So let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Most of the time, he has a top rank. Is he going to have
always give coaches a benefit of the doubt? Always. Right. I'm tired of that. Let's be realistic for a change.
Well, the realistic thing, what do we have to go realistic on is his proven documented history.
Realistically, he hasn't worked with the Miami Dolphins defense and the players that he has presently on this team.
But he has a history of working with whatever cast of characters he's had. I'm not going to sit there and pretend I know every damn player that's ever lined up for Fangio on the defense. But he has a history of rounding that talent to being a productive unit on the football field. So I have to give him the benefit of the doubt there. If it would have been another rookie coming in that never had experience, I'd be with you. Oh, my God, we're bringing in a college coach that's never coached on the NFL level. We're bringing in a guy that probably has the most defensive experience than any guy in the league right now. So to me, there's no reason to downplay that. If you want to pick on the offensive line coach that we brought in, that's like fair game, and that we changed our offensive line coach for the 9 millionth time in 5 days. You know, so I agree with the little negative Neds on that. But for Fangio, you got me all fired up. There is no reason not to, do what he says. Like, if someone tells me, oh, I got to invest money with Elon Musk, or, the guy standing on the corner saying he has land near the Everglades, who am I going to invest money with? The guy that has a proven record. I'm going to put my money with Elon Musk. So it's just like he has a proven record. So let's be happy we got him, because it's silly to complain about him now. And if the first 4 weeks of the season and our defense is getting torn up by, the sisters of the poor, I would be, okay, Steve, you're right. Maybe we were anointing Fangio too soon. But he does have some people that I think he can work with. Because I know you say Phillips I think he still is an emerging prospect that can get better in the right system. You know, Chubb, I think, can be better. Malik Reed can probably come in and surprise some people because he actually out-sacked Chubb. So, you know, we do have some pieces that we can work around. And the guys in the middle, they're not, you know, those guys, but, you know, that are generating pass rushes. But other than Aaron Donald and a few people like that around the league, there's very few people that generate up the gut like that. They do their responsibilities of clogging up the middle and hope their ends, you know, beat one-on-one coverage, you know. So let's give it a benefit of the doubt there. If you want to pick on our offensive lineman, Butch Barry, whatever his name is, I'll be with you, and, you know, give it a little negative Ned with you because we don't know his performance moving forward. But that's it. That's all I'm saying.
No. That's you made some good points, and I am happy that he got here. He gives us the better chance. I agree with you on that. But what I'm saying is, offenses, and he said this himself, offenses have detected the type of defense that he runs. They've already know how to beat it. Okay, and I'll give you an example. Dink and dunk. These offenses to play this defense are dink and dunk. It's a bend, don't break defense.
Right.
Dink and dunk. Okay, and that's how you're going to beat this defense. Now, and he depends a lot on organic pass rush, which we don't have, and these players have proven it. Because if they have proven it, then why are we putting 7 people up in the box?
Well, what Evan has said, he is talking about changing. Like, there's like rumors coming out of, like, we don't know if it's true, but that he's like changing all kinds of stuff around, and he thinks that. So, you know, what's going to give him the benefit of the doubt? Because the man's earned the benefit of the doubt. If it was a rookie defensive coordinator,
he hasn't been a defensive coordinator for 3 years.
Dude, the guy spent his whole life, and you don't think he had a lot of say as defensive coordinator?
And there's 32 teams that have played against his defense for a long time, and they figured out how to beat it.
All teams get their defense figured out, but can you beat it? Even though you're figuring it out, you still got to make the plays, and he can scheme differently. There's not probably a defensive coordinator in the history of mankind that some people don't figure out at some point, you know, because they all watch the same film as every other team, so they see when one team does well. And yes, Evan, I agree with Evan. He has run the defense while he was in Denver. And then, you know, yes, last year he took off, consorted with the Eagles, and still he wasn't per se the defensive mind, because he would like, you know, set up the other team's offense and how to plan, basically, like what he would do to plan for that offense. So, I mean, the man knows defense. I mean, there was a few people that wanted him. Sean Payton wanted him. You know, so he would have, you know, had to go back to Denver. But this does not make it sound like he's not
Rob,
the top
I have
candidate.
No question about his resume.
Resume. Don't question him now. Let's just see. Let's just wait for this year. I can agree with you on something, but that one upsets me because every single Dolphin, almost to a man, that's one of the one topic.
But you know what upsets me? You know what upsets me? We get all these coaches, Adam Gase, Brian Flores.
Okay, those are head coaches. Yes, those are head coaches that didn't do well from the progression from coordinator to head coach. He's going back to defensive coordinator, what he's proven well. There's the one thing we have agreed all off season that Dolphin fans are very seldom on the same page about everyone, but to a man, I would say 99.9% wanted Fangio. Now we get Fangio.
I wanted Fangio too.
Okay, so let's not complain about him yet. Let's complain about him as the season goes down the hill, and it's because of the defense. That's all.
I'm bringing up the reality of it. We don't know if we're going to have a better defense. We might regress.
We might regress, but we don't know that. So why are we already warning about it?
We don't.
Like you say, Steve.
I didn't say we were. I didn't say we were.
We may disagree on some stuff, but we always agree we want the Dolphins to win. But in this case, I just do not see any reason for negative Ned energy when it comes to Fangio. If you want to say, oh, the Dolphins haven't got an offensive line, I bring Chris Greer. I would be more inclined to agree.
Rob, I hope I'm wrong. And I hope he can get this defense to top 10. I really do. I want the Dolphins to win too. I'm a Dolphin fan.
I know you do. I know you do. But I'm not going to get sucked in and reeled in. One guy that we all
we got Big Fangio, the guru of defenses. He's going to make this defense the best of all time, and we're going to be 17-0 next year.
Oh yeah. I haven't seen any of that. But let's face it, he is the one that we all wanted. To a man, to a woman, all the fan base genders out there. to if you're a Dolphin fan in California or here in Florida, all across the globe, even in Canada, Fangio is the name we wanted. If we would have got like the backup plan Desai and Desai, however you say his name, and all these other names that were floated out there, then I could have seen, okay, man, we didn't get our guy, and he better be good. He might not be ready. But we got the guy we all wanted, and we're already going to question him. It's just silly. To me, let's not question him.
I got questions for this team. Yes, I have questions for this team. Okay, I had questions
Anthony,
last
what was
year.
Your last comment? Let's see. What worries me about Fangio is that there's a track record of him that sometimes his defense starts aggressive in terms of format, the longer he's at a stop. Well, this is his first year here, and this is a year. So if that's your biggest worry, Anthony, and that if you have proven documentation of that, I will take your word. You're a loyal fan of my network and this network. So
time is up.
But hold on, we're almost at the end. So
okay, good.
I say we only got like a 2 or 3 year window, as Bobby's pointed out, and other people.
I would say even less than that.
So I don't worry about if in a couple years people figure out his defense here. If they don't figure it out this year or next year,
they've already figured it out. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
But you can say that about any defense in the history of mankind. But he has a history, a documented history. Evan, I should go when I should go. So to give you guys some ammo, I don't know. I didn't do any research to see what his. But I know when we were looking for him, he had a documented history of top 10 defenses. Yes, he's going to fall out sometimes because you're not always going to be the best at every year. But overall, he's the guy we wanted. So I just don't see.
No, I agree. I agree, Rob. I agree with you, Rob. He is the guy that we wanted. I just wanted to bring the points up because I didn't want us to all believe that he's going to make this a top 5, and we don't know that. Okay, we don't know that. We don't know if the team's going to regress, and he may make it top 5. I'm hoping. That's what I'm hoping. But anyway, we got to go.
Yeah, we got to go.
Just remember, everybody, please
you guys
go ahead and check the Fins bandwagon. Get a warm and fuzzy there. They're going to be all positive after listening to this show. I bring the reality, man.
Very quick, too. If you can hear me, the Fins bandwagon is coming up. It is open floor. So if people don't like what Steve and Rob are saying, and you want to go let it be known, go to Finn's bandwagon and join Evan and company and let your feelings know. And maybe one of you guys want to hop. Maybe Steve wants to go there and battle out with Evan. I don't know.
That'd be a good battle. I got to catch up on my Red Sox real quick.
I would love to, but I've got once I sign off, I've got some business to take care of. I wish I could, but maybe Rob will.
I might for a minute. I mean, my business is going to maybe watching some Red Sox baseball. But anyway, I will come back and definitely because I want to see what maybe Evan's right now crunching the numbers to see how many times.
I'm looking at Evan's face right now. And he's grinding his teeth and pulling out whatever hair he has left. He is.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Remember, catch the show.
Evan, Sam Skeet. Thank you, guys. Fins up.
And catch the show next week. We got Barry Cunningham. Should be another great show. And always remember, guys, Dolphins #1, baby. Dolphins #1.
Go Dolphins. Fangio